Every day you delay, your mind drifts further from who you're meant to become. Discipline doesn't show up when you feel ready. It shows up when you rise despite the noise. This is not just a speech, it's a mirror, a reminder, a ritual. Listen to this daily and let each word sharpen your spirit. And stay until the end. The final message is the one your soul has been waiting for. Before you take a single step, before you lift a single weight, before the first sign of effort shows on your face, we must begin at the only place that matters, the origin. The starting point of any meaningful transformation is not in the body but in the mind. It is the clarification of your intention. So I ask you again, why are you here? What is the purpose that has brought you to this moment, seeking a change for the year that is to come? Many people confuse motivation with purpose, and this is a fundamental error. Motivation is a feeling. It is a wave that comes and goes. It can be high in the morning and gone by the evening. It is unreliable, like a friend who only appears when things are easy. If you build your practice, your workout, your discipline on the foundation of motivation, it will crumble with the first storm. Purpose, however, is different. Purpose is a structure. It is the deep, unwavering reason for your actions. It is not a fleeting emotion. It is a conscious decision. It is the North Star that you can see even on the cloudiest of nights. To find this purpose, you must be willing to sit in silence and ask yourself difficult questions. Is your goal to look a certain way? If so, why? Does that image come from you or from the expectations of others? Is your goal to be stronger? Why? What will that strength allow you to do, to be, to contribute? You must dig deeper and deeper, past the surface level answers, until you arrive at a truth that resonates in your very core, a truth that is entirely your own. This process is not easy. It requires honesty. It requires you to face the parts of yourself that you may have been avoiding. Perhaps your purpose is to build the physical resilience to be a better parent, to have the energy to be present for your family. Perhaps it is to cultivate the mental fortitude to overcome anxiety and face your professional life with confidence. Perhaps it is simply to create one area of your life where you are in complete control, where you can prove to yourself that you are capable of commitment and growth. Whatever it is, it must be clear. Write it down, speak it aloud, make it real and tangible. This purpose becomes the bedrock of your training. Every repetition, every mile, every moment of discomfort is no longer a random act of exertion. It becomes an affirmation of your purpose. When your body wants to quit, when the old habits call to you, you will not look for a fleeting wave of motivation to save you. You will look inward to the unshakable foundation of your why. This is the most critical part of the entire journey. Without a clearly defined purpose, your efforts are like a ship without a rudder, tossed about by the currents, going nowhere. But with purpose, every action has direction. Every drop of sweat is a deliberate step on your chosen path. This is the difference between exercising and training. This is the first step to changing your life, not just for a month, but forever. The world will constantly try to pull you away from this purpose. It will offer you distractions, shortcuts, and reasons to quit. It will tell you that you are not strong enough, that it is not worth it. The noise is constant. This is why your purpose must be so deeply rooted, so personal, that the noise of the world becomes little more than a whisper. Your inner clarity must be louder than the outer chaos. So before you begin, take this time. Do not skip this step. Sit, breathe, and ask yourself with unrelenting honesty, why am I doing this? The answer you find will be the fuel for everything that is to come. It will be the silent voice that guides you when you are alone, pushing you to become the person you have decided to be. Embracing resistance. Once your purpose is clear, we can begin to address the physical practice itself, the workout. But we must reframe how we see it. Most people view the challenge, the weight, the distance, the burning in their muscles as an enemy to be conquered. They see it as an obstacle standing in their way. This mindset creates a relationship of conflict with the very process that is meant to help them grow. We must change this. The resistance you feel is not your enemy. It is your greatest teacher. It is a partner in your transformation. It is the sculptor's chisel that reveals the form within the stone. Without resistance, there is no change. There is no growth. There is no strength. So you must learn to embrace it, to welcome it, even to be grateful for it. Think of a blacksmith forging a sword. The steel is heated in the fire, a process of intense stress. Then it is struck by the hammer over and over. More resistance, more impact. It is this very process of fire and force that transforms a raw piece of iron into a strong, resilient, and useful blade. Your body and mind are the steel. The workout, the difficult moments, the strain, that is the fire and the hammer. If you run from the heat, if you avoid the strike of the hammer, you will remain as you are. To become stronger, you must be willing to endure the forge. You must understand that the pressure is what is refining you. When you are in the middle of your training and your body sends signals of fatigue and discomfort, do not immediately label them as bad. Do not immediately think, I have to stop. Instead, become an observer. What is this feeling truly? Is it the sharp, acute pain of an injury? If so, you must listen with wisdom and stop to prevent harm. Or is it the pain of exertion, the voice of your limitations being tested? This is the boundary where growth occurs. It is a signal that you are at the edge of your current capacity. And it is only by gently, intelligently, and consistently pushing against this edge that your capacity will expand. Learn to listen to the language of your body. It is speaking to you in every moment. The burn in your thighs as you climb a hill is not a cry for help. It is a report on your progress. It is evidence that you are demanding more from yourself than you did yesterday. This is a conversation. When you embrace resistance as a teacher, the entire experience changes. It is no longer a battle. It becomes a dance. You learn to work with the discomfort, to breathe into it, to stay calm and centered within the storm of physical effort. You find a quiet space in your mind, even as your body is in turmoil. This practice of embracing resistance extends far beyond your workout. Life will present you with resistance every single day. Difficult projects at work, challenging conversations, unexpected setbacks. These are all forms of resistance. If you have trained your mind and body to see resistance as a teacher in the gym, you will carry that wisdom into every other area of your life. You will no longer see a problem as a roadblock, but as an opportunity to apply your strength, to learn, and to grow. You will not collapse in the face of adversity because you have practiced on a small and manageable scale how to stand firm, how to breathe, and how to endure. This is how the workout transforms you. It is not about the muscles you build, it is about the character you forge in the fire of your effort. Observing stillness. In the heart of movement, there is stillness. In the peak of physical exertion, there is a space of profound calm available to you. This might sound like a contradiction, but it is the key to true mastery, both in your training and in your life. The average person believes that to overcome a great physical challenge, they must generate an equal amount of internal chaos. They grit their teeth, tense their entire body, and create a storm within their own mind. They fight fire with more fire. But the master understands that the opposite is true. The more intense the external storm, the more crucial it is to cultivate internal stillness. The real training is not just to move your body, but to keep your mind still while your body is in motion. Think of it like this. Imagine you are holding a very full cup of water. If you must walk across a rocky, uneven path, how do you keep from spilling the water? You do not do it by shaking and tensing up. You do it by moving with smooth, deliberate control. Your focus is not on the shaking ground, but on the stillness of the cup. Your mind is that cup of water. The workout, the exertion, the burning sensations, that is the rocky ground. Your task is to move through the challenge without letting your mind spill over into panic, frustration, or self-doubt. You must learn to observe the sensations without being controlled by them. How do you practice this? It begins with the breath. Your breath is the anchor for your mind. When you feel the intensity rising, when your thoughts begin to race, I can't do this. This is too hard. I want to quit. Bring your awareness back to your breath. Notice the sensation of the air entering your nostrils, filling your lungs. Notice the gentle release as you exhale. Do not try to force the thoughts away. Acknowledging them without judgment is the key. See them as clouds passing in the sky. You are the sky, not the clouds. The thoughts are temporary. Your awareness, your stillness is permanent. This is a form of meditation in motion. Each repetition of an exercise becomes a chance to practice. As you lift the weight, breathe out. As you lower it, breathe in. Focus entirely on that single action and that single breath. Do not think about the set you just finished or the sets you have yet to do. Be entirely present in the here and now. In this single moment, can you handle the sensation? Yes. In this single breath, can you remain calm? Yes. That is all that is ever asked of you. The entire workout is simply a collection of these single, manageable moments. By focusing on the stillness within each one, the overwhelming whole becomes achievable. This skill of finding stillness in the storm is perhaps the most valuable gift your training can give you. Life is an unpredictable, rocky path. There will be moments of high stress, moments of crisis, moments of emotional turmoil. In those moments, will you be a person who spills over, whose mind is thrown into chaos by the external circumstances? Or will you be the person who has practiced holding their center, the one who can access a place of calm and clarity even when the world around them is shaking? This is what you are truly training for. You are not just training your muscles to endure a few more seconds of strain. You are training your mind to find peace in the heart of any challenge. You are building a sanctuary inside yourself that no external event can destroy. Cultivating structure. Purpose gives you the why. Embracing resistance gives you the how. But there is a third element that is absolutely essential for long-term change, and that is structure. Structure is the container in which your transformation takes place. It is the riverbed that directs the flow of the water. Without a solid structure, even the strongest purpose and the best intentions will dissipate and be lost. A structure is the bridge between your decision to change and the actual daily reality of that change. It is the system that supports you when willpower inevitably fades. You cannot rely on feeling ready or inspired every day. You must rely on the structure you have built. What does this structure look like? It is elegantly simple. It is the act of deciding in advance when and where you will practice your training. It is not a vague idea, "I'll work out more this week." It is a concrete appointment you make with yourself. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6 a.m., I will go to the gym for 1 hour. Or every evening after work, I will run for 30 minutes in the park. You must schedule it in your calendar just as you would schedule an important business meeting or a doctor's appointment. You must give it that same level of respect and non-negotiable importance. This is an appointment with your own growth. It is sacred. Once the appointment is set, the structure extends to the preparation. The night before, you lay out your clothes. You prepare your water bottle. You remove every possible point of friction that could give you an excuse to fail in the morning. When the alarm rings, you do not engage in a debate with yourself. The decision has already been made. Your only job is to follow the structure that your wise, disciplined self created. You do not think, you simply act. You put on the clothes that are waiting for you, you pick up the water bottle, you walk out the door. The structure carries you through the moments of weakness. This may sound rigid or restrictive, but the opposite is true. A clear structure liberates your mind. When you do not have to waste mental energy every single day deciding if you are going to train, when you will do it, or what you will do, you free up an enormous amount of cognitive resources. The structure handles the logistics, so your mind can be free to focus on the quality of the practice itself, on observing stillness, on embracing resistance, on connecting with your purpose. A life without structure is not freedom, it is chaos. It is a constant state of negotiation and decision fatigue. True freedom is found within a disciplined framework. The beauty of a structure is that it builds upon itself. The first few weeks may feel difficult as you force yourself to adhere to the new routine. But soon, something powerful happens. The structure begins to create its own momentum. It becomes a habit. It transitions from something you have to force yourself to do to something that feels wrong not to do. Your body begins to expect it. Your mind begins to crave the clarity it brings. The structure you have cultivated becomes a part of who you are. It is no longer just a schedule. It is an expression of your commitment to yourself. This is how you build a practice that lasts not for a few weeks, but for a lifetime. It is not built with passion alone. It is built with the reliable, humble, and powerful tool of structure, weathering storms. No matter how strong your purpose and no matter how perfect your structure, there will be storms. There will be days when you fail. You will miss a workout. You will eat poorly. You will feel lazy, uninspired, and defeated. These moments are not a sign that your plan is flawed or that you are a failure. These moments are a guaranteed, inevitable, and necessary part of the journey. The true test of your character is not whether you can avoid the storms, but how you choose to weather them when they arrive. Your response to a setback is more important than the setback itself. The common reaction to a missed day or a moment of weakness is to fall into a spiral of self-judgment. I knew I couldn't do it. I have no willpower. I've ruined all my progress, so I might as well give up completely. This all-or-nothing thinking is the most dangerous enemy of long-term progress. It turns a small, manageable misstep, a puddle, into a vast, impassable ocean. A single missed workout does not erase the progress of the 10 that came before it. A single poor meal does not negate a week of healthy eating. The storm is temporary. The path is still there, waiting for you. So, when a storm hits, what is the skillful response? First, you must practice self-compassion, which is different from making excuses. Compassion is acknowledging your humanity. You are not a machine. You will have days of low energy. You will get sick. Life will intervene. Acknowledge the reality of the situation without adding a layer of harsh judgment. Treat yourself as you would treat a good friend who is struggling. You would not tell them they are a complete failure. You would say, "It's okay. Today was a hard day. Rest, and we will begin again tomorrow." You must learn to offer yourself this same kindness. Second, use the storm as a source of information. Be a curious scientist of your own life. Why did you miss the workout? Were you truly too exhausted? Perhaps your structure needs adjustment to allow for more rest. Did you fail because of a lack of preparation? This shows you where your structure needs to be strengthened. Did you succumb to an old emotional trigger? This gives you a valuable insight into your own psychology. A setback is not a failure if you learn something from it. It becomes a lesson. A storm that reveals a leak in the roof of your house is a gift. It shows you exactly where you need to make repairs. Finally, and most importantly, you must have a rule. Never miss twice. This is a simple but profoundly powerful principle. One missed day is an anomaly, a storm. 2 missed days in a row is the beginning of a new negative pattern. It is the first step onto a different path. So you make a non-negotiable contract with yourself. You can miss a day, life happens, but you cannot under any circumstances miss 2 days in a row. This rule provides a safety net. It allows for human imperfection while preventing a complete derailment of your progress. It ensures that after any storm, you immediately find your footing and take one small step back onto your path. This is how you build resilience, not by being perfect, but by becoming a master of the comeback. Refining action. There comes a point on the path where the initial challenges of simply showing up have been overcome. Your structure is in place. You have weathered a few storms. The practice has become a part of your identity. Now, the journey shifts from one of quantity to one of quality. It is no longer just about completing the workout. It is about refining the action. It is about bringing a deeper level of awareness and intention to every single movement. This is where you move from being a practitioner to becoming an artist of your own effort. The goal is no longer to just lift the weight, but to understand how you are lifting the weight. This refinement begins with a slowing down. In our culture of speed and more, we often believe that faster is better. But in training for mastery, slowness is a tool of immense power. When you perform an exercise slowly, with deliberate control, you are forced to engage with it on a much deeper level. You feel every muscle fiber that is engaged. You notice the subtle shifts in your balance. You become aware of the points where you are using momentum to cheat, rather than pure strength. By slowing down, you remove the noise of speed and are left with the pure, honest truth of the movement itself. This requires a shift in your mindset away from ego. The ego wants to lift the heaviest weight, to run the fastest mile. It seeks external validation through numbers. To refine your action, you may need to reduce the weight. You may need to run a slower pace. This can be a difficult step as it feels like moving backward. But you are not moving backward. You are building a much stronger, more stable foundation. It is better to lift a lighter weight with perfect form and total mind-body connection than to lift a heavier weight with sloppy form that risks injury and builds bad habits. The goal is not to impress others in the gym. The goal is to cultivate your own internal integrity. Pay attention to the details. In a simple push-up, where is your focus? Is it just on pushing the floor away, or are you aware of the position of your hands, the engagement of your core, the alignment of your spine, the controlled descent as you lower yourself? Each of these details is an opportunity for deeper practice. Each movement becomes a universe to be explored. You are not just doing 20 push-ups. You are practicing one perfect push-up 20 times. This transforms a mundane exercise into a rich and engaging mindfulness practice. The quality of your attention determines the quality of your results, both physically and mentally. This principle of refining action will inevitably bleed into the rest of your life. You will start to notice how you perform other tasks. When you wash the dishes, are you truly washing the dishes, or is your mind 1,000 miles away? When you are speaking with a loved one, are you just saying words, or are you present, listening with refined attention? The way you do one thing is the way you do everything. By practicing the art of refined action in your training, you are cultivating the ability to bring a higher level of quality, presence, and excellence to every single aspect of your existence. You stop sleepwalking through your own life and start to engage with it moment by moment, with the care and precision of a craftsman. This is the path to a life of depth and meaning. Integrating self. The ultimate purpose of this entire practice, the workout, the discipline, the structure, is not to create a separate, fit version of you that exists for 1 hour a day in the gym. The goal is integration. It is to take the lessons, the strength, and the clarity you cultivate during your training and weave them into the very fabric of your being, so that there is no separation between your training self and your everyday self. The strength you build lifting weights must become the strength to handle life's burdens with grace. The resilience you learn pushing through the final mile must become the resilience to face personal and professional setbacks without crumbling. This is the final and most important phase of the transformation. Think of your training as a laboratory. In this controlled environment, you are experimenting with principles, discipline, focus, enduring discomfort, overcoming self-doubt. You practice them in a simple physical way. But these principles are universal. The real work begins when you step out of the laboratory and apply your findings to the messy, unpredictable experiment of your daily life. When your boss criticizes your work, that is a form of resistance. Can you meet it with the same calm observation you apply to muscle fatigue, instead of a reactive surge of anger or defensiveness? You have practiced this. You know how. When you are faced with a long, tedious project that offers no immediate gratification, that is an endurance challenge. Can you call upon the same mental fortitude that gets you through a long run, breaking the large task down into small, manageable steps and focusing only on the one in front of you? This is the integration of your training. It is the transfer of power. The patience you cultivate while holding a difficult stretch for 60 seconds becomes the patience you can offer your child when they are having a difficult day. The integrity you build by using perfect form, even when no one is watching, becomes the moral integrity to do the right thing in your life, even when it's the harder choice. This integration is not an automatic process. It requires conscious effort and reflection. At the end of your day, take a moment to see the connections. Today, I felt frustrated in traffic, and I used the same breathing technique I use between sets to calm my mind. I had a difficult conversation and I was able to stay present and listen, just as I practiced being present during my training. By consciously drawing these lines, you reinforce the neural pathways. You teach your brain that the skills are transferable. You are breaking down the walls between different areas of your life and allowing the strength from one to flow into all the others. Ultimately, you will reach a point where you no longer see your training as something you do, but as a reflection of who you are. It is an expression of your commitment to growth, discipline, and awareness. Your physical strength becomes a metaphor for your inner strength. Your physical balance reflects your emotional balance. The person you are in the gym and the person you are in the world merge into one integrated, whole human being. You are no longer compartmentalizing your life. You are living with a unified sense of self, where every action, every thought, and every breath is guided by the same core principles you have forged in the fire of your dedicated practice. This is the true meaning of a transformed life. Sustaining momentum. The journey does not end when you reach a goal. The arrival at one peak is merely the revelation of a new, higher peak on the horizon. The great challenge and the source of ultimate fulfillment is not in achieving a state of perfection, but in sustaining the momentum of growth for a lifetime. The year 2025 is not a finish line, it is a gateway. How do you ensure that the changes you have worked so hard to create become a permanent part of your existence rather than a temporary chapter? The key is to shift your focus from finite goals to an infinite process. The joy must be found in the path itself, not in the destination. One of the greatest dangers to long-term momentum is success. When you achieve the goal you set, you lose the weight, you run the marathon, you lift the target number. It is easy to feel a sense of completion. And with that feeling, the structure can relax, the purpose can become blurry, and the momentum can slowly grind to a halt. This is why you must always be a student. You must always be in a state of beginner's mind. As soon as you master one skill, you must humbly seek a new one to learn. If you have mastered strength, perhaps you turn your focus to flexibility. If you have mastered endurance, perhaps you explore the art of balance. There is always more to learn.